Okay, so it's been a while since I've done a MyScene slash Ever After High combo. Um, so I found these two on eBay. It was actually perfect. I'm keeping the hair because it's in pretty good condition, so I don't really want to get rid of it. Like, there's no glue seepage. Like, it's just, there's no glue seepage. So, I mean, that's kind of all you can hope for. And we've got the watercolor for this. So this is the inspo for them, as you can see. She's cute. I love it. I'm gonna make stickers out of them because I want to make stickers out of a couple other pieces of watercolor paintings that I've done. I want to make those into stickers as well. So why not do it with them? And then the bodies that I have is Briar Beauty. You can see, sorry, yeah, so I guess this is going to be the first video that you're unfortunately going to see the finger that I got smashed in a door. Don't really want to show it on camera, so I'm trying to avoid it. It's just a little hard because it's my right hand and it's my pointer finger. I'll probably cover it up when I'm working, or try to, if I remember it. So, these, for Ever After High dolls, their neck pegs are their necks are too skinny. So, I just basically do like a layer of, it's not focusing. I basically do like a layer of epoxy sculpt. She has some like epoxy residue, but we'll sand that off. This neck peg is also damaged. The actual bar isn't. That's actually perfectly fine. And it's fine. It's just, it's got this piece. I had the piece that was there, like that came with it, but I don't know where it went. So hopefully I can find it. If not, I'll show how we're gonna fix these, because you can't just glue it back on. It's just not enough strength. So we're gonna be creating a clay mask around it, so hopefully it doesn't have any issues as with breaking. As long as you mix the epoxy well enough, it's pretty strong. If you don't mix it enough, it can be a little bit crumbly. Not to the point where it crumbles off, but if you like picked at it before it was like fully cured, then it would probably crumble off. But yeah, so these are the shoes that we're working with. They are cute. I think you can tell which dolls for which because I used the base dolls as inspiration. So, yeah, we'll be back. Also, I have this charm bracelet, and one of the charms that my mom got me, because she's got me all of them, is the little scissors. And they work. It's literally doll sized. Like, I think I'll show it, like, like, it's literally perfect for a doll. It's not focusing. It's fine. Now that the hair is masked off, we can start removing the face with 100% acetone or nail polish remover with acetone in it. Now with this head, her head was a little bit squished, so I did try to like use hot water and then ice water, but that didn't really work. So I ended up running a thread through her temple to the back of her head after the face up, since I thought I would be able to like finesse it, but it didn't work. So now with her broken neck peg, I used a little slab of epoxy and covered up that gap. And then before it dried, I made sure that neck peg could still move. So after I did that little layer, I waited a bit and I applied the epoxy how it looks on the right. And then I can sand it. I used a little bit of leftover epoxy to kind of define their chest a little bit, so I wasn't wasting epoxy. I also waited a full 24 hours before sanding them. I started off with painting a layer of gesso, just since the epoxy is a little bit darker than the skin. And for the left doll, I used my Titan Mars pale color, and that was a pretty close match. And then for Briar Beauty, I've had to match her skin tone a decent amount, so I used burnt sienna, my Titan Mars pale, and a tiny bit of yellow. After washing the face and spraying the face with MSC and waiting 30 minutes, I can start with sketching the face. With watercolor pencils, since it's water-based or water activated, you can use kneaded eraser and a tiny bit of water to completely erase a line. Just keep in mind that the watercolor will go pretty much anywhere where water goes. So just make sure it's not a lot. Now that the first face is done, we can move on to the next face. When I was working on this, I was going every other layer, but I decided to edit it, as in I did one face up first and then the second face up. So, like I was talking about a little bit before with her smushed head, I didn't notice it when I bought them on eBay. You can kind of tell here. I think I was able to kind of fix it. Like, I can't really notice before, because before it kind of did bother me. So, I did, like, have to kind of finesse the shading and placement of the eyes, since this kind of caused her eyes to be uneven. Like, the mold itself was uneven. I don't know if the doll's face was smushed or it was just made like this. So, yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about what I did. This is also my cat, Bloom. I was sitting like this, and she decided to come up and say hi. It was adorable. It was very hard work, though. So, this is now the second layer, I believe, and it might still be the first. I don't think it is, though. And you can kind of see I highlighted the left side a little bit more, since that was the sunken in side, and that's also the side where I put the thread by her temple, and then I just pulled it back to the back of her head, and I just did that a couple times. It was tricky, but I just used pliers, a thread, and a needle. And when I was doing this, I could kind of squeeze her head a little bit, and it would look how I wanted it to look. So that's kind of how I figured out what to do. But I love them. I think they're adorable. These are also heavily based on me and my friend's style. So I did like the color eyes the same, and kind of like the makeup. Besides the hair, since I decided to just use the hair that the doll came with, the outfit is mainly inspired by our style. I really admire her style, and sometimes when we hang out, she likes to dress me up. So I like doing that. I think it's fun, especially because I always dress up my doll, so then when it comes to myself, I don't really care. Because I did care about dressing myself up more before I got back into dolls. And then as I just did dolls, I just kind of didn't care as much. So we're moving on to the outfit. I cut out a t-shirt pattern, kind of like a crop top, and then I was originally going to use this pink fabric in the back for the purse, but I changed that. And then I cut out 4 panels for the baggy pants. I thought I had like a jean fabric, but I didn't, so I used this. And after I ironed it a little bit and added the details, I think it looked really cute. But when I was making it, I was not sure if it was going to be cute or not, or if I had to redo it. But for t-shirts, it's fairly simple. You attach the shoulder seams, hem the neckline, add the sleeves, and then close the side seams. And then for the other shirt, it was a little bit more complicated. I added cuffs and a collar, and I basically had 4 panels for the shirt instead of 3, since it was kind of like a buttoned up look. So I kind of did the illusion it was buttoned up by kind of hemming both sides and then attaching them. You can kind of see here, this is when I attached the front, and everything's hand sewed, except I did use my sewing machine for her black pleated skirt. I didn't really record that. I do think I just forgot, because I was like, oh, it's a skirt. Like, I feel like that's the most simple one, since it's basically a long rectangle and then a short rectangle, and then you fold the short rectangle over, since that's like the hem around the waist, and then like gather the long rectangle after you hem it, and then it's basically a skirt. But yeah, so after I did this complicated shirt, I could close the side seams, and then that's when I worked on the pants for both. And pants, it took me a little while to get them, but this is also the point where you want to add your details to the pants. So I started adding like little rectangles for like belt loops. I got this heat thing for gems on Amazon. It's not really good for humans, but for dolls, it's great. It's just like they don't stay very well if you want to put them on your actual clothes. But for dolls, since you're not handling them, since these are art dolls, then it's really not that bad. But I'm using my nail, like my acrylic nail, as a base because it's very hot. So if you were putting your actual skin underneath that fabric, it would hurt. So please don't do that. I also bought this like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. So I don't know if they still have this exact one on Amazon, but I'm sure you can find something similar. It's just like a gem adhesive gun thing. And I added more gems and decorated her belt, and then we can paint the shoes. The shoes were very simple. For this girl's shoes, I just painted them black, and I painted both the shoes black and then added some silver details with my chrome pen to the other shoes. At this point, I can also paint the shirt with this little design, and I made this handmade bag, and I'm using my low temp hot glue gun with sparkly pink hot glue to make these nails. I did the same on both, and with the bag, I kind of used the other bag as inspiration since it was a Barbie bag that I got at a vintage store. And I just added like a little bit of designs. But for like accessories and stuff, I just use gold and silver hoops, and I just kind of do whatever I think looks good and add like little details until I think they look done. Here they are. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about them in the comments.